Farmers in crisis align way out the door of the Woods Chapel Baptist Church in Brooklyn as hundreds of farmers from not only northeast Arkansas, but from across the state came to voice their concerns about the current state of farming. Representatives from U.S. Congressman Rick Crawford, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, and U.S. Senator John Boozman's offices were in attendance to hear those concerns. Among those farmers in attendance was a farmer in Woodruff County, Chris King. He told me this was his 39th harvest, and he has never seen it as bad as this.
And I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
For King, the main problem starts with the fact that they can't sell for profit.
I just would like to see somebody help us get our markets back. We need our exports, and we just need to be paid for what we do, and that's not happening.
Welcome back to this YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking and for choosing to watch this video. So on our today's episode, we're going to talk about Arkansas farmers and the problems they're going through in relation to the tariffs and the inflation and the policies that have been put in place by the Trump administration. I know this is somehow controversial and it can attract a lot of debate, but now just from the preliminary analysis, it's very clear that most of these people, these white farmers in Arkansas, they voted for Trump, and right now they kind of having a regret of their vote. So before I give out my round of thought about this whole thing, then we will have to watch a few clips that I've compiled here and there, and then at the end of it, I'll come up with a brief, commentary about it and give my honest opinion about that. But before then, please take a minute to subscribe and share. So yeah, let's take a couple of minutes to watch these clips, and I'll be back with some commentary about it.
I want to do a video on, kind of the farming and kind of the crisis going on in row crop farming right now. Things are very hard in row crop farming for a lot of people. All agriculture struggling, really, except for livestock. Cows are pretty good right now, which those guys needed a good money-making time because they've been selling cows too cheap for 10 years. But on the row crop side of things, you see a lot of things about, corn's the same price it was in the 70s and all that. And I just want to say, because I've got mixed feelings on it, not every farmer is in bad shape. There's a lot of people that's been farming the past 20, 25 years, very conservatively, not showing out, not buying, new trucks every year and X9s and all that. And they're kind of sitting in the driver's seat, especially if they're not leveraged very much, because they can buy some really nice equipment really cheap. And, there's some people that have not managed very well and kept growing and kept growing and kept growing, and they're leveraged to the hilt, which is not good when we hit a recession like we have right now. And the human side of me says I hate that for them, because I don't want to see anybody lose their farm or their business. The business side of me says, well, they're kind of getting what they deserved in a way, because, you can't just keep going and kicking the can down the road and keep borrowing money and keep borrowing money and keep piling on debt and expect to farm your way out of it. And the farmer side of me says there's a lot of opportunities for young people right now. And people, you might say, well, that's crazy, as cheap as everything is. Well, a young farmer, when he's getting started out, is not going to make money anyway the first couple years. So if he can find some ground that maybe somebody's given up that shouldn't have been farming it anyway, and he can rent it pretty cheap, and he can find him some cheap equipment, because equipment's relatively cheap right now, and he can struggle through this next 2, 3, 4 years, scrape by, scrap around, and get some stuff paid for, he might be okay on the backside of this thing, because he might pick up a lot more land if things keep going like it's going. We all say that, there needs to be a reset in agriculture. Well, we're probably fixing to see one, or we're in the middle of one right now with a lot of people, contemplating whether they want to keep going or not. And I think that's going to give a lot of opportunities for a lot of young people. I hate it for those people going out. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see anybody have to sell out or be forced to sell out, but this is a business at the end of the day. It could happen to me next year. I mean, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape right now, but you never know what tomorrow brings. A couple bad crops, and any of us could be in that boat, no matter how big or small. So just enjoy it while you got it going on, and keep your cards close to you and do the best you can in the next couple of years. And if you're young and wanting to get started, I think now's the time to do it. Y'all be good.
We're just absolutely fucked as farmers, guys. Everything is so fucked, and I do not see anybody surviving this farm crisis that we're in. Guys, look, one of the best splorn crops that I have ever raised in my life. And because of the tariffs, China will not fucking buy it. And they are the only country in the world they are the only country in the world that buys splorn. And so now I'm literally just chopping it and blowing it on the fucking ground because it's fucking useless, it's valueless, there's nothing I can fucking do to it. I am going to need government assistance to make it through this fucking crisis until these tariffs end. Look, I've never raised a splorn crop like this, guys. And this is just fucking heartbreaking to me. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. You know, Trump said he fucking loved us farmers, and here I am just blowing my splorn crop all over the ground. Hopefully he works a deal out where Antarctica and Mars will start buying this splorn and save the farmers. I'm sorry, splorn crop, but you're fucked.
So I saw that the soybean farmers in the state of Arkansas are having a find out phase. And you know what I hate to say? I told you so. No, seriously, I'm really sick and tired of the fact that the left keeps having to say, I told you so, because we didn't want anybody to suffer, okay? We voted for everybody to survive and thrive, and you voted for the suffering of other people, and here we are. You are actually the one who is paying the price and suffering, because you can't sell your soybeans to China because what's that? Tariffs. You can't get that new farming equipment that you needed because of why? Tariffs. Didn't the experts tell you that? Didn't people warn you this would happen? But no, you let your internalized hate, racism, and misogyny override literal facts that were right there in front of your face that made you vote against your own best interests. And here you are, expecting a government bailout yet again. You didn't want anybody else to get government bailouts. That's socialism, and you don't like that. So what makes you so different and so deserving when you voted against government money going to anybody who has stumbled upon a hard time? Why do you get it? What makes you better than other people? Again, I don't like that we are having to say, I told you so. Okay, I wanted you to do well. I wanted you to survive and thrive. But this is what you voted for.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed. That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the 7th generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back here at the end, just as I had promised. So just a disclaimer that I'm not here to judge anyone or just pass on any form of judgment on anybody because of their, decisions that they made during their during the election period. I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to give my honest thought about this whole situation. So number one, it's normally said that if you make your bed, so you must lie on it. So during the campaign period, Trump had a lot of policies for these people, and he had a lot of promises for them. They, however, had an alternative. They had another person to vote for, but they decided to vote for Donald Trump. And they were all pro-MAGA campaign and all that. So this is what they get for voting for this guy. And somehow I feel sad for them. At the same time, it's what they deserve because that is what they voted for. At the end of the day, the farmers are going through this hard time because of the tariffs that Trump has imposed on several companies. There are no exports going out. There are no imports coming in and all that. And also globally, there has been widespread inflation throughout many countries. That is undoubtable, and many countries are going through that. So it's common for industries like farming and all that to go through situations like this. And then the sad part of all this is that it does not only remain to the farming industry, and it will soon spread to the other industries that are connected to these sectors like the fuel, energy and all that. So in as much as they are getting what they deserved and what they voted for, it's also not so good for the US economy. So tell me what you think. Give me your thought in the comment section. And that is it for today's episode. Please take a minute to like, subscribe and share. I noticed a lot of people just watch my videos through to the end, but only a few are subscribed. So please do me the favor and just take a minute to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.